Yeah. Hey. Welcome to the network.
Squad, what's poppin'? What's poppin'? Y'all know what time it is, man. Welcome to the Dope Bar. It's your boy Blaze Hunter Knife Wonder. It's a little different today. You feel me? It's a little different today because I always like being the first. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like with future superstar T Marte here, that I'm the first interview. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good. Like I said, I'm happy to be here.
I love that. So um, for the little that I could, I was like, all right, let me try to get me some type of due diligence of something that I could do, some type of information. You know what I mean? I'm like, I need to figure out some way to figure out anything. So I'm just gonna start off with how did you even get into this position? Why are you sitting right here right now to get ready to launch what you're gonna launch?
So honestly, it probably started about like 3 years ago. So I've always been a writer. I love poetry. I love music. And one day something just clicked and was like, "Hey, you do poetry. You love music. Why don't you go ahead and like do that collaboration?"
Come
So
on.
I did that, and I think like I did a couple of songs, and a friend of mine kind of put me in front of the right people. And once I got in front of the right people, it kind of just took off from there.
Yes. So that's dope. So when did you get into poetry?
Honestly, I've been into poetry probably since I was like 10 or 11. So I'm from North Carolina, so I conducted the North Carolina Symphony when I was in 4th grade because I won a
Woo!
writing scholarship for my
Let's go.
poetry. Yeah, so I've been into poetry for, like I said, as long as I can remember, about 10 or 11.
That's what I'm talking about. So yeah. And it comes from what's crazy is you get to hear a lot of like prodigies being made, when they're that age, when they're young. And I think it's cool that you are that like your big break ain't happened way back then.
Yeah,
Because if you look at a lot of the artists that showed those type of talents way back then and then became stars, they missed out on the childhood. You know what I'm
yes,
saying?
yes.
So I feel like it's dope that you get it at this place. You know what I'm saying? So coming from, what I'm saying, North Kakalaki, the competition there ain't no joke. You
It's
feel me saying?
not,
So
right?
how did growing up there, you know what I'm saying, and you making, prepare you for making your mark now into the, in that DMV area?
So I think it's crazy, right? So like you said, like being in North Carolina, it ain't no joke competition. Like we produce the greats of the greats. So I lived in North Carolina, or I was born in North Carolina, lived in North Carolina, and then my dad joined the military. And I think that was kind of what was good for me, is because
Yeah.
I got to experience all different types of walks of life in the different
Nice.
states and places that we lived in. So understanding the competition and what it takes to be competitive at that level in North Carolina and
Yeah.
then move in other places, you got to see everybody do a little bit of everything. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what really kind of helped me out.
Yeah.
So I like it though. I mean, I still, it's like I go home and it's like, oh well, you're not a J. Cole, you're not a this, you're not a, it's like, calm down, I know.
Yeah,
But
chill
you
out.
gotta, yeah, you
Relax.
gotta let me cook a little bit. Let me
You know what I'm
cook a
saying?
little
Just
bit.
just just relax. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of shout out to Pops for being in the military. So I was always curious about this question I'm about to ask because
Okay.
I've heard it from a few different sides. So, I have people that I know personally who are, when it comes to all of the corruption and the craziness that's going on in the country, they're like, they don't want to stand up for the flag. They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that because they feel like that's that. I got
Absolutely.
personal friends like my boy Casper is in the Navy, so it's like for me, I'm like, no, I'm not disrespecting because I know my boy,
Absolutely.
what he's done. So with you having pops there and you see that type of stuff go around, what would you say to anybody that is like, why should I do this for this, the business of United States of America and all that blah blah? Like, what would you say to them?
All right. So this is gonna be a good one because I'm also in the Navy, so I cannot give
Let's
you.
go.
So I can't give you a straightforward answer on that because you know the difference between speaking my opinion versus what I have to do as a
Facts.
professional.
Facts.
So all I will say to that is that it's your right as an American to stand by what you stand by. You know what I'm saying? Freedom of speech. You have that opportunity to act on what you want to act on as long as you are within legal limitations.
Yeah.
I'll say that it's definitely one of those things though that like even I juggle with, and I know even from my pops, like as a African American male in the United
Yeah.
States military, I know that's something he has to juggle with as well. So I can't speak for everybody. That's just my opinion on that. Is
Yeah.
that I try to keep it clean and straight when I'm at work, and then when I'm at home, it's Team
Come on.
Marte.
I love it. I love that. You know what I'm saying? So let's so you talk about your parents, and what did they have any influence when it came to the music? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. So both of my parents, they're young. To me, they're young, but they
Yeah.
also live in that like old school world. So
Mm.
I think just growing up with them and having their ideals and just being around them as much as we were and listening to their styles of music. So like my mom ranges from like Frank Sinatra to Ho.
Woo.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I get a little flavor of everything when it comes to my
Ooh.
mom. And then Pops, of course, it's really just kind of like Ho, 50 Cent. I think my first CD on a CD player, like when I was young, was the 8 Mile soundtrack. So I mean, it
Fire.
ranges. Yeah, so they definitely influence that a lot just from allowing us to understand like, what language and profanity we could and couldn't use, but still
Yeah.
listen and absorb and understand the message within that music.
Man, that's powerful because I be telling people, man, when you want you're there, everybody like, oh, with the way that the internet is and blah blah blah, it's hard to help raise kids. And no, if you're intentional, you know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying, you can have
Absolutely.
y'all a Team Marte. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Just be just living proof.
Absolutely, man.
I love that. I love that. So with doing my digging, you know what I'm saying? So I found out about that you're doing a project called Block Party.
Yes.
So let's talk about Block Party. How did
Okay.
this even come about?
Uh, so Blog Party definitely came about. So like I said, I'm in the military. So I was on the West Coast for a while and I'm from the East Coast. So all of my family is now that I'm back on the East Coast, all my family's here while I was still on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking like, man, I haven't been to a family reunion. I haven't been to a gathering. I haven't been to a get together. I ain't been to a fish fry. You know what I'm saying? I ain't been to any of that in a hot minute. So as I was like thinking about it, I was like, I want to write a song that commemorates us back together. You know what I'm saying? And what better
Yeah.
than a block party? I mean,
I
because you
love it.
always have your family, and then you have those friends, and then you have those friends who become family, and that's how I feel like that's what block party signifies. It don't matter what your differences are. Like we all come together, eat good food, listen to good music, have a good time.
I love it. I love it. Now I haven't got the privilege of hearing what it sounds like. I don't know if it's gonna be singing, if it's gonna be rapping. I don't know what it is, but I would like to assume that with the background that you have, that it's gonna have like a little touch of some of that old school element. Like, what was your approach in creating the sound for it?
I think my approach was I wanted a little bit of so most of it is rap, but I also wanted a little bit of like, hey, I'm talking to you. Like,
Yeah.
hear me because I'm talking to you, and this is what I want to do. Like, you either with it or you're not. And then
Yeah.
there's a little bit of like a joke in there because it's like, you know, respectfully, but you know how like everyone talks about that token, like you have like a token black kid. So within that, because I feel like now with social media and all the trends that we have, you have that token white kid. You
Yeah.
always know that one white boy that is invited to the barbecue. So
Yep.
there's a hint of joke style in there too, where it's like, hey man, like we're just here to have a good time.
Exactly. I love that. I love that because what I don't know if you realize that you're doing it, if you're doing it or not, but it's always good to bring in things like that because it touches deeper things that than topics that people don't want to talk about, but
Absolutely.
also it includes everybody. You feel me?
Absolutely.
It makes it to where you can reach out to people that and understand how many of the token Oh yeah, hey, yeah, that's me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So yeah, that's real dope. That's real freaking dope. So all right, so you said there's a bunch of hip hop elements in it. So
absolutely. Yeah.
how would you define what your rap style is? Do you is it leaning more toward this newer style of rap? It does it lean more toward that old school? Like what do you feel your style is?
Honestly, I for my style, I think it's hard to tell right now. But I think for Block Party, I feel is gonna be more trendy because it's a little bit more catchy than some of my
Yeah,
other things that I have in the works right now.
yeah,
But it's one of those that has like a message hidden into it. So you're listening to the song, you're jamming to it, and you're like, okay, like I can vibe with this. But then when you go back and you listen to it and you listen to the words, you hear the underlying message. And like the point of that was understand that everything can be a teachable moment. It doesn't always have to be like doom and gloom. You know what I'm saying?
come on,
Everything can be a teachable moment. And in that song, it's a teachable moment and it's like we're having fun. Like
yeah,
who's gonna complain about having fun and learning at the same
and
time?
learning at the same
Yeah,
damn time. I love that. I love that. I can't look. I can't wait to hear because it's like I get excited for like I always like to call. I don't like to even say rookies. I like to say newborns and toddlers of the industry because
absolutely.
I deal with a lot of people who just feel like they know it all. And when you're dealing with a bunch of know-it-alls, they're stuck in their ways. They can't learn nothing, and you see all the different mistakes. You're at a place to where you're about to get into this industry. We're in a whole new world as far as like I know so many people when I have interviews is like, how was it like for you pre-pandemic and now after the pandemic with social media? You're coming in at the height of the social media era, AI, the
Yep.
most saturated the music industry has ever been.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody, because I would say 80% of the, maybe even more than that, of the people who do music nowadays don't even got that love for it. It's just like it's something to do. And
Right.
it used to be a time where it was like, oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm a rapper. Oh my God, you rap? That's crazy. Now it's just, oh, okay, you rap. All right.
Yeah.
A couple of my homeboys over there rapping. There's a rap group over here, and this person sings, and it's like it's such an easy thing now. So coming into this whole new freaking world, what? How are you approaching this? And what are you going to do to stand out in this saturated game?
So my approach, honestly, is to just be coachable. Like you said, like I don't want to be in that realm where I tell people where I feel like I know it all. There's always something to learn,
Yes,
right? You listen to the greats of the greats. You listen to some people who've been in the game for 20 plus years, and they're still learning as we go. You know
facts,
what I'm saying? And that's where I want to be, right? I want to develop my own style, come into that style, but continue to be coachable, right? And
facts.
that's the biggest thing right there. If you can comprehend being coachable, as long as you can do that, you can go anywhere you want to go, right? And that's how I feel about it with different artists, with different companies, anybody who has any input on the industry, especially somebody who's been doing this way longer than me, especially like an old head who's been in the game for 20 plus years. If
Come
they're
on,
telling me something, talking to me, giving me advice, I'm gonna absorb that,
I love it.
right? If you're coachable and you're able to, if you're able to take constructive criticism, that's the biggest thing, right? Because you might like how something sounds, but if
Yeah,
somebody who knows this line of works is like, hey, that don't sound good. Hey,
exactly,
you might have to switch that up. Then you're gonna have to switch
exactly.
it up, right? You don't got to change you to switch up how something sounds. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? And I think
yeah,
that's gonna be the biggest. That's gonna be the biggest thing right now. And then fighting, I think fighting with social media because, like you said, there's so many people out there who are getting. I feel like especially getting there through social media because everything is everywhere now.
yeah.
So that makes it a bit more competitive. But I feel like at some point, if you want it, you want it.
Big facts. And finding out that the more and more like when social media exposes things, there's a lot of people who really don't want it. They
100%.
like they think they do. I got a friend of mine. Shout out to my boy Josh Moreland. He's signed to Rock Nation,
Okay.
and his years of before being there was always like, when is it gonna work for you? Because I feel like this man is a machine. I always call him the LeBron James of the music. It's like at the age that he is, he's in the shape that he's in, the where he could perform all his songs are like the at the level of what the last song should be. He can do them full out, still in breath, still ain't out of breath or whatever. And
Yeah.
he was like, once I got to, I'm at the label now, and I got to see a lot of the greats up close and got to personally see a Beyonce workout. Like, this woman is running up a mountain in heels. Like, I ain't I don't even deserve to walk up to walk up or to take elevators. I need to take steps until I'm able to do what she do. It's
100%.
like it puts you in a place to where it's like, wow, there is another a level.
Yeah.
And even the level that he was at, where before he feel like this next level, there's like there are people that don't even want to touch that. They just want, I rap and then, stardom is gonna
Yeah.
come.
And that's
Don't
it.
don't work that way. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You are like, there's so much, and I love this because I'm gonna share a good amount of gems in this, and I definitely would love some back and forth retort with you. But before we get into it, I gotta pay these bills. That's what we do. So we'll be right back. We got T Marte in the building. Y'all know what it is, man. We at the Dope Bar, baby.
Shopping destination for you. Step into the store, it's a fashion parade. Finding that perfect fit like we've got made. Mirrors shine back, it's all about the vibe. From the runway to the street, we're living on drive. Mic check, yeah, 212. The ultimate shopping destination for you.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to the Dope Bar. Y'all know what time it is, man. It's your boy Blaze Hunter. We got T Marte in the building. Big shout out to 212.shop. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got, you want to get your style right. You want to get your music game up. They got everything. You know what I'm saying? They clothes, equipment, everything. They got it. They're killing it over there. Shout out 212. So, all right. So I always say to artists that I've been in this game for, even though I look nice and beautifully young, I've been in this game since 2003. I started in 03 with, I would say, with my professional career. We're in 2024 now, so I'm a good 21 years in. Been through a lot, seen a lot, on the performing end and on the managing end. And I know as my time as a manager, I see where I went wrong. Because the one thing that people don't talk about is mental health when it comes to being in this industry, because of all the negativity that comes with being in this industry. And now with the height of social media, it's insanity. So again, I'm a man of due diligence. I like to do my due diligence. So I know that already with you coming in to the social media era, I know that you are married, correct?
Yes.
And you have a wife.
Absolutely.
So automatically you're in the box, in the bubble of everything that comes good, bad, ugly with LBGT community and all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So so one, I'll ask this question. How are you preparing, or have you even thought about preparing to navigate through that no matter what, it's not, that's just the name of the game. It's never just going to be about the music. Somebody, some way, somehow, because they want clickbait, they want a scoop, they're going to come and pry into that. How prepared are you for that? And have you prepared your wife for that?
So I feel like I've been preparing my whole life for this. Because I think, like, I've been out since I was probably in, if my memory serves me correctly, since I was in middle school. And I really owe a lot to my parents on this one.
Yeah.
At a very young age, like, they let me fight my own battle. You know what I'm saying? If they had to step in, it's because it got to the point where it was like, hey, you need to do something about your child, or this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
However, ever since I was a kid, that's something, between getting bullied because of it or about it, that's something I've already had to deal with.
Yeah.
And, being in this world now, in this realm now, I will say that social media can be negative sometimes in that sense, but I feel like it's also most impactful in shedding that positive light
Yeah.
on it as well. Because it's like, hey, my wife is my wife. She believes in what I believe in. She trusts me. I trust her. The bond that I have with my wife, that's my best friend. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So together we get through anything. You know what I'm saying? Between music or professional
Yeah.
in like the Navy or what she does, like she's in nursing school right now.
Let's
So
go.
we have to swap out to take care of what we got to take care of, but at the end of the day we get that job done. And for
Yeah.
anybody on the outside looking in, we have hopes that they see that more than they see the negativity from their beliefs, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Um so aside from that, like we're gonna roll with the punches and we're gonna recover. Yeah, as cliche as it sounds, it's not about how you fall, it's about how you get back up.
Facts.
So we're just gonna do what we gotta do to get to where we gotta be.
Yeah, yeah. People got to stop ignoring the little and the simple things. People feel like they know the simple things, just like that phrase. I mean, no matter how many times you fall down, it's about when you get up. Oh, that's a simple. Understand that
Yep,
those simple things. You know what I'm saying? Like they are very, very powerful, impactful, and they're said for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Because
absolutely.
that's what it's about. And you need that's what people don't want to do is they don't want to get back to the basics. The everybody wants to feel so much smarter than the basics, and
Right.
that's where you got to get to. So yeah, I always say that mental health is the place to go because is when you got that on point, like the music, just the performing part of it, the music is such a small piece of the challenge. That's easy. You know what I'm saying? To come up with what you want to come up with to get it right. There may be complications as far as who's going to mix and master and that type of stuff. But as far as you creating the music, that's the easy part. It is now everything that comes with the
Yeah.
success of what this is going to be. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So definitely, for me to you, I want to say to make sure that no matter what I mean, you already in such a great foundation. Freaking fathers in the military. You being currently in the Navy is like you're in a prime place to where you're built to have some great structure. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So yeah, lean into it. And also I know that you were saying earlier about that you were gonna be coachable. Also make sure that this industry, the dirtiest industry on the planet, um be do a lot of studying yourself as well, because there are a lot of people that are going to try to coach from their own game. Speaking from experience, I've been through the ringer with a lot of different people, mentors that say one thing, and they play off of wanting to use you. And so just really keep your eye open, learn the things that you need to learn. Don't just be quick to take people at face value. You know what I'm saying? Because this industry is a crazy one. And but don't let that stop you from wanting to be coachable. Just make sure that you're putting in the same type of work of learning what you need to learn, so when someone is coming to coach you, they're not instilling the craziness
Right.
inside of you or whatever. You feel me?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that God, this is dope. This is dope because I feel like one of the things that I love is knowing that I can help and spread a lot of the stuff that I been in. Have you been in any position in your life where you've had to be like what I'm in right now, where you have to spread gems to people and give them coachable moments? Like, have you been in any of those type of positions to where you're the leader and you're helping other people with experiences that you've had?
Absolutely. So again, like I said, I'm in the Navy, but I'm not just in the what I like to call the regular Navy, right? I'm in the
Yeah,
submarine force. So we go out, we do some good things, and that setting, and this is back to the mental health portion, right? That setting is extremely hard on individuals, right? Not only are you away from your family, but you're
yeah,
isolated because we're underwater. And so those moments are for people like me to step up and step in and say, like, hey, if this is what you're feeling, these are the resources that we have. This is what we can get you. This is the help that we can get you. Like, don't ever feel like you're alone.
yeah,
And I feel like for me, as an African American, as a LGBTQ community member, and an African American, being in a male dominated workforce, I
Yes.
have so much to say, especially to young women and young women of color, especially trying to step into that world.
Yeah.
So I've definitely had those moments where I could coach and lead the way and take the brunt of it before somebody else behind me has to take it. And I think
Yeah.
that's the most important part about this whole thing, because I can't preach to you about anything I've never been through. Because, like,
Facts.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't tell you it's going to be easy if I've never had to step up and do it.
Facts.
And I think that's the biggest thing about me that I've learned just from my parents, is that if I'm going to tell you something or I'm going to ask you to do something, either I'm going to be in there doing it with you, or I've already done it and I'm just trying to explain to you how this goes. And that is like a full circle life moment, from like my parents telling me, no, don't do this because I've done this already and I know what the outcome is, and me saying, yeah, I'm going to do it anyway because you don't know what's going to be for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Man, shout out to your parents. You feel me? Real talk. You always want to shout out great parents, man, because I feel like this world needs a whole lot more of them.
Oh, yeah.
And when I know too many people who are products of bad parenting, and I know some that I'm like, all right, why aren't you doing this, and that? And I know everyone has their own issues, but I just want to give a shout out to the parents that are, doing good. And I love the product that I'm seeing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like big shout out to them. Real talk.
Yeah.
So if I'm outside of Block Party, but you never been in a music studio before to record a song?
No.
That is insane.
That is insane. Yeah, I could show you my room right now, but I have I like to call it my at-home studio.
Yeah.
And we have elevated, right? Because it went from a closet to, like, I have a whole room to myself now. Like,
Nice.
I got the soundproof up. I
Come
got
on.
my mic and everything set up.
Let's go.
And when I'm in here, my wife knows, like, she don't even knock. Especially if she hear me recording, she'll just wait. And she knows my phone is on silent, so she'll give me a little text like, "Hey, dinner's ready." You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, that bond is good right there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, straight up. That is crazy. So, and so you've learned. So what is the process? I'm so intrigued on the process. So so you have your own studio. Do you have an engineer that comes in that helps you with stuff, or did you learn how to do it on your own?
Nah. So honestly, I'm still, like, trying to learn these things, but I do have a great team and a great foundation who stands behind me. And when I tell you, I could call them probably in the middle of the night and go, "Hey, I'm trying to record this song right now, and I have questions of X, Y, and Z," and they're gonna answer the phone. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But after, like, pretty much I just lay down the track and, like, say what I gotta say, and then I'll call them and be like, "Hey, I'm done with this. I'm gonna go ahead and shoot it over to you." Send that email, and they're like, "Okay, again, this is that coachable moment. Like, hey,
Yeah.
this sounds good. This doesn't sound good. Switch this up, change this, do this, get it back to me." And that's like a
Yeah.
30-minute process, 30-minute turnaround. You know what I'm saying? So I have, like, a producer who, does amazing work, and
Yeah.
he looks over my stuff. My manager is amazing. Like I said, the whole foundation that I have right now is amazing. And understand that because I am in the military, it's a little bit harder for me to get to the studio.
Yeah.
So they definitely take the time out to make sure I am where I need to be.
I
So
love that. I love that. So here's a nugget to another gym type moment. So one of the things that I'm a sound engineer as well. I've been doing it just as long as I've been maybe a little not as long as I've been rapping. Probably I've still been doing it for over 20 years. I've been doing it for a long time. So I don't remember the last time outside of maybe 6 people that I will record in person. I engineer a lot of people, a lot of songs. I don't engineer them in person. I do a lot of virtual recording. So let them know, like, they have the technology out, which is so easy to where if the producer that you send it to is in the studio, as long as you where you are, you got your equipment, they could take over the screen. You just be in front of the microphone and, okay, do this over, punch this in, da 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 da. There are a lot of ways. Hey, look, we connected now. You know what I'm saying? So you need the virtual session. I'm here. You know what I'm
I
saying?
appreciate that. Yeah.
But yeah, just different tools that you can use to make it to where it can definitely save time. So let's say if you're doing something and you end up sending it, it's like, oh no, we want it this way. It could be a thing to where you can do it they're already in real time. Okay, yeah, I like that and how you went up on that, but maybe if you tried to do it deeper, maybe you know what I'm saying? It'll cut sometimes. So
Yeah.
those is options and different things. Man, hey, look, I'm excited for this journey. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited. How many songs do you think that you have like completed? Like,
Completed.
I mean, as far as written, I already know you're not a lot of recorder. Like as far as written and done,
As far as written and done, I've got about 16 to 20.
let's go.
Yeah, so I definitely made sure before, I think even before Block Party, I had about 7 or 8 kind of like in the tank. And then after Block Party, and like the guy who manages me, he was like, hey, you need to have, you need to go ahead and like get that up. So he sent me over some stuff that he wanted me to work on. And it
Yeah,
was just kind of like boom, 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 boom. Like we knew it was going to go quick. And he was
yeah,
like, so you got to be on the gas and you got to be ready for anything. So I was like, all right, like whatever you want. And that, again, coachable moments, man. Like
yeah,
that is so important. I was like, I'm not used to moving at this pace, especially with my music, because it's usually just for me. But it's
yeah.
like now that I have the opportunity and the opportunity was available for me and to me, I was like, there's no way I'm not gonna run with this. There's no way.
I love that, man, and I know with you being a natural poet, so I'm sure that wordplay isn't a difficult thing for you. So, with your music, where do you feel you sit lyrically? Um, like compared, I mean, I don't even know like if there is an artist out there that's out there now, who do you think that you not sound like, but if you could compare lyrically where you are, who would that artist be?
If I could compare it right now, I would say it's hard when you try to compliment yourself without complimenting yourself. But
Yeah.
I would say I would say J. Cole, but at like Can't Get Enough
Mm,
/ Power Trip era. Right,
yeah.
definitely nowhere to scale where he's at now.
Yeah.
With the time that he's put in and the work that he puts in, that's that dedication and that
Yeah.
drive. I'm not there yet because I haven't been in that position to be there yet. But as I work my way towards that, that's also where I want to be. I want to be that lyrically advanced, that wordplay that advanced.
Yeah.
And I think there was one of his songs that he recently talked about it. And he was like, you need to step up your vocabulary. And it's like, so that's something that I challenge myself to do all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just like, understand that simple words that can be replaced can
Facts.
be used with something else and it still has that flow.
Yeah. And I'll give you another one of those, giving some gems. You're gonna come across a lot of times where you're gonna say something clever and the audience ain't gonna catch it. A lot of people is going and it's gonna be like, how in the hell did you not hear that? Get to a place to where you learn how to how would I say, learn how to satisfy both people, because when I say both people, I mean the people who is going to catch it and the ones that's going to fly over their head. I like to use the example, and people hear this in a lot of interviews I use the example of you heard the Chris Brown song Deuces.
Yes.
So in the very last verse, your boy was like, his line was, she Paula Patton thick, she give me deja vu. That line, when I first heard it, I remember like it was yesterday. Brand new studio, me and a couple people that I was working with at the time. We had like a opening or whatever. So the song was playing. I heard the line. I went stupid. They tried to figure out why I went stupid. Y'all didn't hear that? I'm like, bro, he said she Paula Patton thick. She give me deja vu. They're like, all right. And it pissed me off. So, I went to break it down. I'm like, think about this. All right. So y'all know who Paula Patton is, obviously. Yeah, we know. Okay. Her first movie was Deja Vu. So that was the first little nugget. She Paula Patton thick. She give me deja vu. And she ain't skinny. She thick. You feel me? So she Paula Patton thick. And I'm like, she married to Robin Thicke. So her name is Paula Patton Thick. Ah! She Paula Patton thick. She give me deja vu. I'm talking about, it's that type of stuff. So where there's going to be the people that it fly over their head and they're just going to get okay, she Paula Patton thick. All right, she thick. Okay, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
But then there's going to be the people like me that are, I see lyrics as art. And Like that right there, that line, it ain't like the art that you see like a little kid put on the refrigerator. This the type of art that thieves spend a bunch of money to break through an art museum to steal it, spend billions of dollars on a fake.
Yep.
Like it's that type of art. You know what I'm saying? So definitely make sure that when you're writing, even though you could, let's say it was like, all right, I don't want to settle to just say this one thing, so I can do it and make it sound like this. But once you even get to that place, there are times where it's like, all right, yeah, that line is clever, but what if this person don't get it? So how can I make this work? So add that to the repertoire, and my God, you're gonna be a beast among beasts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I love it. And so is there any message that you can give to anyone that also wants to start their career and jumping into the deep end, you know what I'm saying, swimming with sharks, pun very much intended? What would you tell them? What would you tell them?
I would tell them no water's too deep. I would tell them, like, no matter what your circumstances are, right? I deploy 6 to 9 months out of the year. I'm also in school right now, finishing up my bachelor's. I have a full-time job and I'm working on my music. If you, like I said before, if you want it, you gonna go get it. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter if you're recording on a Rode NT1. It doesn't matter if you're recording through a headset that has a microphone on it. Like, it doesn't matter if you're just recording yourself on your camera spitting over a beat. Like, it doesn't matter. Right? If you want it, you have to work for it, and you have to be willing to take that constructive criticism, because at the end of the day, if you don't take that, how do you get better? Like, if you're not willing to be receptive of that gathered knowledge, you know what I'm saying? Then, like, what good is it to you? Like, you're telling me that you don't want to be the best you that you can be if you're not willing to be receptive of, like you said, you've been in the game 21 years. If I put you and other artists who've been in the game for 21 years, that's 40, 60, 80 years worth of knowledge, because you each have had that, like, different experience within your time. So that's what I would say. Definitely understand that there is no water too deep to jump into.
That's amazing. I appreciate you. Dog, you getting ready to, you building up the following. Everything is just starting. So how could they find you?
At T Marte on everything. At T Marte Music on everything. X, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok.
And as y'all seeing this, y'all gonna start seeing all of the content build. This is a journey that every single one of y'all are in together with T Marte. You know, this journey just beginning. I, for one, gonna be along for the ride. I love this. I live for this, and just know that you got a real one in your corner forever.
I appreciate that.
You already know. Shout out to your parents. Shout out to wifey. Shout out to everybody. You know, you already know what time it is, man. I appreciate you. This is Blaze Hunter. Welcome to the Dope Bar. That's T Marte. We out this beast.
All right, brother.